started here. Welcome to all of the DWOC committee members and alternates. Good afternoon. This is the August Green Line Extension DB and Workforce Advisory Committee meeting, and I am calling this meeting to order. As always, I will run through some of the housekeeping. Please mute yourself if you're not speaking. If you're having technical issues, let us know in the chat and we'll try to resolve them. And please close all other teleconference applications. This meeting is being recorded and streamed by the Met Council. Meeting handouts and presentations are posted on the project website at swlrt.org. And I will turn it over to Tyler.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. As the meeting goes on, I will be keeping track of roll call. William, I will send that to you once the meeting concludes so that I have a full roster of who is in attendance today. So the July meeting minutes were included in the handout for review. If there are any edits, please let us know. You can let us know now, or if you'd like, you could send an email noting any changes or edits to either Ashanti or myself. Regarding the July meeting minutes, though, does anybody have anything off the bat that they would like put into the record? Okay, if not, again, please feel free to send any edits to either of the co-chairs, so either Ashanti or myself. So with that, next we'll move into the Green Line Extension Project update. Normally, David Davies would present this part, but it's my understanding that he is unable to make it today. So I thought I saw Nick Dial on the call. Yep. So I will turn it over to Nick.
Thanks, Tyler. All right, so let's go ahead and move over to the construction update. So just going to move through the alignment. This is the load transfer platform over at Southwest Station. You can see the pile cut off over there. Also working on a couple of retaining walls on both sides, and that project is moving right along. So here's a track completion of some special track work or crossover on the north side of the Minnetonka-Hopkins Bridge. Next slide. And a lot of work activity going over there by the K-tel and 5th Street as the project leads into the eastern portion of the LRT starting over there at Shady Oak Station. Here's a shot over at Wooddale Avenue, just looking at the at-grade crossing and the rail as it leads into Wooddale Avenue Station. And a shot of the structural slabs being completed over at Beltline Boulevard in St. Louis Park. There's a vertical circulation foundation at the West Lake Street station. This is on the east side of the West Lake Street, and this will be installed similar to what's happening on the west side of West Lake Street, where they'll be putting up some structural steel in the near future. Moving down into the Kenilworth Tunnel, this is the shot of the west heading excavation area. A lot of work activities going on as they complete the struts and Whaler construction and move this excavation activities to a point where we can start installing some concrete for the west heading of the Kenilworth Tunnel. This is the east heading of the Kenilworth Tunnel, and so now we're moving underneath the MCS force main, which is shown at the top of the photo there, starting to complete some of those walls and roof structures. And here's the newly opened Cedar Lake Parkway. It's currently open to traffic to both PEDs and vehicles. And here's a shot at the Kenilworth Tunnel on the box on the left. That's a raised section for the tunnel jet fans, and the section on the right is just showing some support struts for the walls as they complete those raised section activities. And then here's a shot of the excavation at the east heading of the Kenilworth Tunnel. Moving further east on the alignment, here's the Cedar Lake Channel Trail bridges nearing completion, and they're pulling all the formwork out and getting ready or demobilizing from the site for that causeway to be reopened. Loose line trail bridge was installed over the last reporting period. So here's just some shots of that installation, those two bridge sections being put together and then lifted over the freight tracks. Next slide. And this just shows the final condition adjacent to Bassett Creek Valley. Then moving further to the east, this is Glenwood Avenue Bridge. This is our only portion of the project where we've got embedded track section. And then that leads into a direct fixation track section as it approaches Royalston Station. And then this is one of our few remaining bridge deck pours that we have for the project. This is a 5th and 7th Street LRT bridge in Minneapolis. Moving into some systems contract work, starting to do the first overhead contact system wire runs at Southwest Station. Next slide, and this is also the power feed cable pulling. That's our first substation that was set, traction power substation 301, adjacent to Southwest Station. Also completing some wayside signal equipment installation. This is over by 70th Street, across from Golden Triangle Station. And they're also completing a dry standpipe installation in the trunk Highway 62 tunnel. A lot of work that APJB is completing is the traction power substation foundation sites. So this is over 307. And the next one, and then also some OCS poles and arms being installed in Hopkins. This is in segment 9, adjacent to the downtown Hopkins station. And then here's 314 foundation site, which is adjacent to Trunk Highway 100. And okay, I think that, so we're going to slow down some the slideshow real quick. So John asked me to come in and promote like a potential bidding or future construction project that's happening. Will be put out to bid later this fall, and that's for the Hopkins Rail Support Facility. So I'm just going to run through some stats on what that looks like. So here we go. Next slide. So this is over by Shady Oak Station. The Hopkins Rail Support Facility is that section in gray right below the park and ride deferred section and that stormwater feature on the left side of the page. It runs along 6th Street in between 13th and 16th Avenue. Next slide. So the Hopkins Rail Support Facility is going to house Metro Transit departments for signals, comm, track, and traction power. It'll have dedicated shops for those 4 departments. It's going to have 4 garages for service trucks, a stock room, a locker room. It's going to have management offices and cubicles, some reception areas, 3 conference rooms, a break room. It's going to be filled out for 24/7, 365 staff facility for 51 full-time equivalents on a 5.3 acre site. The facility is going to be about 23,000 square feet, and the construction will be of a rigid steel frame system with steel exterior cladding, and it'll have some storefront glazing and admin offices and a break room. And it'll be cast in place footings, foundations, perimeter stem walls, and floor slabs, and CMU or concrete masonry units for the interior walls. There will also be parking facilities around throughout the project for the 62 parking stalls and the fleet trucks not parked in the garages. Next slide. This shows just kind of a building footprint of what this site is going to look like. Like I said before, it's a total area 233,000 square feet, and it's got about 23,000 square feet on the interior portion. Next slide. This is a shot of just the interior, just building footprint, showing all the shop locations, different garages, and the management on the left side of the project, those management offices and the different shops. The floor plan. And here's some facade shots. This is at 6th Street South, looking towards the building facade. And next slide. And then just a shot of the main entry, where where the reception area will be. And the bird's eye view of what this facility is going to look like in the final condition. And the break room or patio for breaks for the Metro Transit employees. And then this is the garage entrance for the maintenance vehicles. And this would be the train's eye view from Shady Hook Station. And that's all I got for my reporting. If there's any questions, let me know.
Any questions for Nick? Seeing none. I know earlier this week, I think there was a little snafu, but the DBN workforce reports were sent out. And I apologize, I've moved on to the consent business items for review and available on the webpage. Do we have any questions relative to the DBE reports? I don't see any hands.
It's Barb. I just want to say thanks for getting that fixed. It's nice not to see those the red that was in there, and appreciate that being accurate this time.
I'd love to take credit for that, but I think that was a combination of Krista, John, and I can't remember the gentleman's name now, but they did, yes. Yes, they did get that squared away. So yeah, that is a good thing and a good outcome.
Okay. Unless there are any more questions regarding the DBE reports, we can move on to the workforce section. Are there any questions regarding the workforce reports? Okay. Hearing none, we can move on to the
I have a question, Tyler.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Hey, Sean.
Hi. How are the numbers trending? And are there any like particular trades that are we need to focus on in more detail?
Hey, Sean, it's Krista here. I actually, with one of my reports on the upcoming slides for the non-consent, or however we titled it, we go into a kind of a breakdown of the trades. And so I can go over a few of those with you. We do see trending. There are certain trades that are, you know, of course, stronger than others, but it'll be good to review it at that point, if you don't mind.
Okay, sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think iterate what Krista said. There have been some kind of trends as of late, which are very exciting to see. And I know we have asked Krista to include that as part of her summary and report out. So if we get to the conclusion of Krista's section, Sean, and you still have some questions, happy to address it. We'll have some time. So we can always circle back to it if that works.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else from anybody regarding the workforce? Okay. Now we will move to the non-consent business, starting with the contractor update. So speaking of Krista Seberg, she'll be up next to provide the LMJV summary covering the civil construction update.
Great. Thanks, Tyler. If we could move ahead a couple slides here. And one more. Oh. There we go. All right. For update on the DBE participation, as you can see, here's a listing of our current subs that had workforce hours in July. So it's a great list, as you can see. continuing forward. They've been on it for quite some time and are doing quite well. You could go to the next. If people don't have questions about them, we'll keep going then. We do have the LMJV team consisting of Jess, who's on with me today. Thanks, Jess. Myself and 2 other leaders of the LMJV part of the project. We have scheduled a roundtable discussion with a group of seven, excuse me, of our DBE businesses, both contractors and suppliers, to go over some questions, lessons learned, moving forward type things that we will be putting a report together to present to the team here. So look forward to that sometime. Presentation will probably be at the October DWAC meeting. The other thing, we are in the process of creating our DBE closeout meetings for the project, where we will have one-on-one meetings, followed by a report of those DBEs, you know, what the project was for them throughout, working with the team on creating what that will look like. And we are going to be meeting with the Met Council on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, just to keep moving forward what we did this last month with updating that report. And Barb, thank you so much for bringing it up. Both Jess and Luke on our project did a lot of work to get that. Luke has been a great partner with getting the DBE information up to date. But we will be meeting with them on a regular basis, just to make sure everything's on the correct pathway. So that'll be great to be able to update you guys on that type of information. And also look forward to upcoming is in October, and I didn't have it on this slide, so I apologize, but October is our Construction Inclusion Week. It'll be the 3rd annual, I do believe. And one of the days is dedicated to our work with small businesses, with our certified with our DBEs. So we will be planning an event, some sort, or a social media blast or something about the DBEs on the Light Rail project during Construction Inclusion Week. Next slide, please. All right, were there any DBE questions? Sorry about that, you guys. You know me, I like to just keep going. So if no questions about the DBEs, on to our workforce. And this is the report that Tyler and I were just talking about. Each month I will be showing you guys a breakdown of our participation hours, not people, but hours for Elaine, by the trades, you guys. And I really, really want to show, and this is the one that Tyler was referring to, you know, this is our extreme busy season, you know, June, July, August, September, October, you know, that's where you see, you know, when we're able to show you a year at a glance, the higher workforce numbers, which last week, excuse me, you guys, last month was one of those. Take a look at our laborers. There were over 15,000 work hours. The POCI participation on our laborers was almost 39%. So well above that 32% goal. You guys can all see, you know, and read the report. It shows right there. It'll be nice to be able to show you the trends with those numbers, but it also gives us the opportunity to discuss in detail with our contractors, including our team, when we see high numbers of workforce hours, but yet still lower numbers of participation percentages for both female and POCI. And then just talking as a team, why are those numbers where they are and what can we be doing, not just on this project, but as an industry as a whole, with our unions especially, to help start increasing those numbers. Anybody have any questions about this report? No, if not, I look forward to continually show you guys it, and every quarter I will show you the graph, you know, that'll show you, you know, the trending.
Krista,
Yep.
this was just for the month of July?
Yes.
Okay, that's what thank you.
Yep, you bet, Elaine.
And
all right,
hey,
next
Krista,
slide,
this
please.
is Julie. I just have one quick question. Hi, Krista.
Hi, Julie.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. Say, I wonder, I love that how, of course, we've seen this report before, but I love the frame in which you're putting it to kind of understand certain things. I wonder, do we talk with the painters and the iron workers and the laborers about some of the strategies they've used for recruitment and, how those things can potentially be replicated in other areas? I know there's skill development and a whole bunch of other things that really factor into that, but I wonder if there are learning opportunities to be discovered.
Oh, absolutely. And the one great thing about some of our one-on-one meetings with and I don't mean one-on-one, one person, but say, a great example would be Jess and myself meeting with the laborers, the apprenticeship coordinator, and Eric Engstrom, our BA assigned, the highway heavy, talking about exactly what you are asking, Julie. Yes, it's always, the lessons learned, we're not always just looking at that negative piece, but that positive piece. What is being done different, to keep, why their trends are a little bit higher and everything. Are they doing something different, or is it because of the specific trade or what? So it'll be interesting to compile that information. And I look forward to hopefully giving a presentation about that, or having representation giving that, giving that information, Julie. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other about this information here? If not, we can go to the next slide, please. Here's our in and out breakdown that you guys have been seeing the last couple of months. And this is the combined between the joint venture, Lunda, and CS McCrossin. So July was very low. And that's very typical for the month of July. Any questions about that? If not, we will move forward. And here comes what I consider, and you guys know me, this is the fun part. This is where our, and I'm going to speak for Mike because he's going to be talking in a little bit, but this is where our, it's boots to the ground, you guys. And last week was one of those wow weeks for me. I had the extreme honor last Monday of being a part of a little over 20 volunteers from contractors. We had 4 or 5 people from the light rail project, both the civil contract and systems, where we were, like I said, we were volunteers for the Minnesota Trades Academy Career Day at Junior Achievement. For those that don't know what the Minnesota Trades Academy is, I highly recommend doing a little research after today's meeting. But the Trades Academy stemmed off a few years ago from the Construct Tomorrow team. Minnesota Trades Academy is a summer program. It's an 8-week long program that is union driven. They are under the Construction Careers Foundation umbrella. And they had 42 students this summer from the Minneapolis School District, St. Paul School District, and White Bear. The kids ranged in age from 16, the program is 16 to 21. That day, the people that I had the pleasure of working with ranged from 16 to 18. We did mock interviews. We did team building activities. I still say Mike's team might have cheated a little on those trivia questions. But anyways, it was a day filled with great networking. The 42 students that were there, you guys, I talked to about 20 of them. I would hire every single one of them if we could. So what I have done is committed to, with Lindsay Tallman, who is one of the leads for the program, is working with her on those students that are already over, 18 or over, helping them with their career pathway right now. But those that are younger, that are still, whether they be juniors or seniors this year, is working with them, getting them out to project presentations for the light rail, project tours, meeting with the specific trades that they're interested in. So it's almost like when you have a college recruiter reach out for the first time, and then there's that pathway. We are going to be working with the Trades Academy regarding that pathway for those students. Very, very exciting. So as you can see in the pictures, a lot going on. And then what's great is later in that week, if you want to go to the next slide, please, we had the graduation of those 42 students. The graduation was held at the Pipe Fitters Local 455, right off Maryland and 35 in St. Paul. Walking in, you guys, I felt more encouraged than I have in a long time about our workforce development pathway that we have. Watching these students walking in with their families, and I'm talking family, I mean, some had 6 people coming to their graduation and everything. So that part was great. But the beginning piece, we were able to again network with various people, and there were contractors there, there were unions there, there were our various contractor associations there, and the unions were there. We were able to celebrate the graduation of these students, and the picture is very, very small, you guys, but on what was sent out to you, I encourage you to zoom in to create, especially the photo to the right of the screen, to the right of me and Sam and Lindsay smiling. You see 2 young gentlemen. They didn't know each other before the program, and look at them now. They're the best of friends. Those smiles are contagious. And my exciting piece are one wants to be a cement finisher and one wants to be an operator. So I've already been in communication with each of them a couple of times this week already, helping them with their career pathway. So kudos to the Minnesota Trades Academy, and as well Junior Achievement. They're 2 great programs for the industry, and it was very, very encouraging for it. So there's that. Next slide, please. Lots of fun upcoming things, you guys, especially October. October tends to be one of our busiest months in the fall. But yesterday, the Light Rail hosted our 3rd, since I started, event that gave the opportunity for the contractors on our project to network and get to know the community-based organizations, that have the construction pathways. We had 10 of our pathway programs give quick presentations, and then it was opened up for networking. It was a great event. We are creating now a school calendar for this next year with each one of those that will bring these programs to us and us to them for the Light Rail project, with project presentations, project tours, taste of the trades type smaller events, and just that honest to goodness partnering with these great programs. So it was a great event. We will be doing a couple more over this next year. We also, like I said, we are going to be having meetings with our programs, such as Building Strong Communities, to really ensure light rail participation, with these successful programs. Then the big one for me that I'm starting to work on and excited to do it with our subcontractors as well as systems is in October. We have our Construction Inclusion Week, and there are going to be some great activities for that. One of them being, as you can see on here, put it on your calendars, Rosie's and Robbie's of the Rail Roundtable. That will be on October 18th. It is a Wednesday. And the title for this one, the topic is going to be Put Me in Coach, which otherwise means being a part of the team. And our 2 facilitators that are going to be assisting me this time are Laura Carroll from Gunner Electric, one of our DBE contractors, and Rick Mardigan from Building Strong Communities for one of our community partners. So great event coming forward. Any questions about the upcoming calendar? If not, I think that might be it, but next slide. There we go. That's it.
Thanks, Krista.
Thank you.
Any further questions on anything that Krista shared? Sean, was that did that answer kind of the questions that you had, or do you have other things that you're wondering about?
That was insightful. So yeah, I think I'm all right. I think good. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions for Krista? Okay. All right. Thanks,
everyone.
Krista.
Thank you.
Moving on then to the system side with Mike Tony to report out on APJV's activities on the systems contract.
All right. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Mike with APJV. Up in September, we'll again participate with mock interviews at Summit Academy, again on Friday, September 15th. We just heard about the Minnesota Trade Academy Career Day, and it was a fun day. And then, you know, this month, APJV and Gunner Electric, we expect to set a handful of TPS, traction power substations, the actual houses onto the foundations, as well as communication houses later this month or early next month. And that's kind of the activity we have going on with us right now. Summit Academy, again, is a great partner and a great school. We're happy to support them. The next slide, please. Okay, so you know, these are the numbers. These are the people. We worked about 10% of the hours that the civil side worked. It's increasing slightly. Our numbers are going up for the POCI. The women, it's actually decreasing a little bit, holding steady. And I know for July that the numbers for the POCI hit 31% or 29%. So it's going the right way, and we hope to keep it that way. Most of our hours are electrical and operating engineers. And that's really what I have. I think, was there another slide? Oh, and the subcontractors who worked. These are the DBE subcontractors that worked during June. We had Gunner Electric. These are subcontractors who reported craft labor hours into LCP Tractor. So Gunner Electric, Safety Signs, MBE Trucking, and Moltron Builders. And I believe that's it.
Thanks, Mike. Any questions for Mike on APJV?
All right. As I hope everybody knows that we were fortunate enough to have 2 interns working with us in the light rail transit small business unit this summer. And part of what they did was they helped with the commercially useful function visits out on the projects. And I would just want to say, hopefully, the interns working with us this summer got as much out of this experience as I know John and Julianne communicated that we got from them. So with that, we have Rana here with us today to present their work and what they did. I think there's a few pictures as well, and talk about the CUF visits that were conducted over the summer.
Can everybody hear me okay? Can everybody hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, thanks Ashanti for the intro. My name is Rana. I was one of the interns at the Small Business Unit at the Met Council. And yeah, this summer we've really been focusing on CUF visits and working with the small business owners and seeing how they've been working on the contracts and making sure that they have all the support that they need, as well as making sure that there's no fraudulent activity going on. So it's just been a really great insight into how the DBE program ties into these construction projects. So if we go to the next slide. We had to do a lot of training to start off. We learned about the DBE program as a whole. We had some trainings from the FHWA. We learned about the official certification process, as well as the requirements and limitations for businesses to be included. And as well as when we were sending emails and contacting the business owners, we had to cite a lot of the regulations. So it was a great insight into the official regulations that go into that. We also had to learn about construction safety since we were going on the field. We had to do the OSHA 10, which was definitely an experience. We learned about railroad safety through eRail Safe and OnTrack as well. Some of the big resources that were really helpful for us was the MNUCP DBE directory. It was a great way to see everything laid out all in one place, as well as the CUF red flags visits, the red flags, so that we knew what to look for in our visits and made sure that we were just staying vigilant on all the different answers and the questions that we were asking. Next slide. So there were two types of site visits that we were conducting, virtual and on-site. For the virtuals, it was setting up a meeting with them. To start off, we did have to do all those trainings that I mentioned before, and then we had to do a little bit of research into what kind of business they were before we sat down to do an online meeting with them. We had to look into their official contract. We had to look at the directory to see what sort of NAICS codes they had, as well as refer back to that red flags document so that we could make sure that we were kind of prepared going into it. When we finally did contact the business owners, we scheduled visits, and then we set expectations. We communicated with them what documents we would need during the visit, what kind of questions we were going to ask, and just made sure that we were all on the same page. And then during the visit, it would be an hour-long visit. It didn't always take that long, but it kind of gave us enough time to have an open discussion before and after and make sure that we were kind of understanding each other and what we needed. And it was it was a great opportunity to just really learn more and meet people that I never would have had the opportunity outside of this internship. And then after the visit, we would follow up with them, send them an email summarizing what we talked about, making sure that we did have all the documents, and of course, making sure that they signed off on our notes, just so that the records were reflecting both what we understand and what they wanted us to understand. And then documenting all the documents and the screenshots from the site visits and everything, just making sure it was all in the correct places for future use after my internship is over and after my fellow intern Dejana's internship is over. It's really good to know that our work is going to be needed and looked at after. If we go on to the next slide. When we did go on site to talk to the construction crews, we got some cool pictures. It was really awesome. I've never gone out to a construction site like that. I got to wear the hard hat, the vest, the boots, everything. It was awesome. You can see me talking here to a couple of different construction folks. We have some from Blackstone, 3DV Trucking, Gunner Electric, and Zakowski Trucking. If you go to the next slide, there's some more pictures as well. From TI, Stone Brook Fence, Sun Mechanical, and E&J Steel Erectors. The E&J Steel Erectors, that's that bridge construction going on near Haywood, and I got to climb on top of it. It was nerve-wracking, but a really amazing experience. And then we did over 30 DBEs virtually, so there was a lot of meetings going on. And I think there's one more slide. Yeah, some key takeaways that we got from this summer that definitely were really meaningful for me was just really seeing how equity programs really do have positive impacts in our communities, seeing all the construction workers, talking with the owners, and really seeing that they never would have had so many opportunities if it wasn't for the DBE program and the work that Met Council does along with all our partners. The work and dedication that goes into making these big projects happen from all the amazing people I've met, all of my amazing coworkers at Met Council, just people are really dedicated. And the community and support between the Met Council and the DBE firms. Again, it's just such an amazing open relationship between the Met Council and the business owners, and it's really inspiring to see. Also, insight into those business regulations and practices. It was just really awesome to see how all these policies are really playing out in real time. As well as the application of our education and trainings, that OSHA 10, those 10 hours of safety training, really you can see that it is important and that it is something that you need to be aware of at all times on the construction site. So I'm grateful that we got that. And of course, the support and guidance that we've received from all the Met Council staff. John and Julianne that I've been working under were amazing, and everyone I've met was just great this summer. So I'm excited to extend my internship into this school year and hopefully come back next summer as well. Thanks.
Any questions for Rana? Well, thank you, Rana. Just as a tip for you, when I used to do compliance visits and audits out on the construction sites, I would make the employees come down and talk to me. I didn't go up on the bridge decks. So just a tip. You have that option. They probably didn't tell you that.
I'll definitely remember that next time. Thanks, Ashanti.
Hey, wait a minute, Shantae. If we're going to talk about workforce development and growing our workforce, shouldn't we be the ones experiencing it? I just had to throw that out there, you guys. It was perfect.
Yes, yes. Like I said, very brave of her. So I'm definitely commending her for that. But yes, just wanted to make sure she knew that was an option for her. Yes. I don't think I have any announcements. Specifically, we did, the Met Council, we did present on DBE progress to FTA earlier this week. And I know last week was the Corridor Management Committee meeting. A lot of the county commissioners, mayors, and things, they always do have a lot of questions relative to workforce. They're very interested in it. And I always want to let people know that you can view those meetings via YouTube and access them through the council's external website, metrocouncil.org, if you're interested in viewing those meetings. Anybody else? I think I jumped ahead. Open discussion, committee discussion. We want to open up the floor for any committee members, any unresolved issues from the last meeting, questions that we have that we can help address, or just any topics that you wanted to cover. Anybody?
You all are so chatty today. I can't get over it. Okay. So Ashanti, you good on announcements? Anything else that you want to cover? We're good? All right.
Good.
All right. So now's the time whether we turn to public invitation. I know John is not here. So William, do you know offhand, did we have any? I have not seen any. So I'm guessing the answer is no.
John informed me that we didn't have any at this time.
All right. And that will wrap up that section of it.
All right. With that, I want to let everybody know while we're really efficient today, and next meeting is planned to be in person at the Green Line Extension Project office. You see the address up there. And looking forward to connecting with you all in person. I know we had a little snafu the last time we tried to do it. Some folks were online, some folks were in person. So next meeting, we are trying to get everybody in person. But with that, I think we can bring the August DWOC committee meeting to a close. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Barb, I'll take that as a motion. The Honorable Sean Skibby.
Man, no, we're quiet. That's like really. Yes, I'll motion.
Second.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Looks like it's heating up, so have a good weekend. And if I don't
Thank
talk
you.
to you before tomorrow, and take care.
Have a great one, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Shanti. Thanks, guys.